Alright, 10.5. Apply other angle relationships in circles. Okay, theorem 10.11 says if a tangent and a chord intersect at a point on a circle, then the measure of each angle formed is 1/2 the measure of its intercepted arc. So, if you look over here, this angle is going to be 1/2 the arc that intercepts. So that 1/2 the measure of arc AB. And this one will be 1/2 the measure of arc ACB. Okay. Alright, example 1. Line M is tangent to the circle. Find the indicated measure. So, in this case, the arc is 132. And we know that the measure of the angle has to be 1/2 of that. So, half of 132. (66°). Alright. The measure of arc EFD. This angle is 110, and we're looking for, we're looking for double the angle, because the angle is 1/2 the arc. 220 degrees. Alright. 10.12, angles inside the circle's theorem. If two chords intersect inside a circle, then the measure of each angle is 1/2 the sum of the measures of the arcs intercepted by the angle and its vertical angle. So, this angle, and of course this angle, since they're vertical angles, equal the measure of arc DC plus the measure of arc AB divided by 2. So basically, if you average this arc and this arc together, you'll get the angle in between. Likewise, this angle and this angle is going to be 1/2 the measures of arcs BC and AD. Okay? Alright. Let's take a look at page 2. Theorem 10.13, angles outside the circle theorem. If a tangent and a secant, two tangents or two secants intersect outside a circle, then the measure of the angle formed is 1/2 the difference of the measures of the intercepted arcs. So in this case, this angle is 1/2 this minus this. In this case, this angle is 1/2 this minus this. This angle, 1/2 this minus this. We'll do an example. Okay, so I guess we can go in order. Find the value of x. So this is not this theorem, but the theorem we learned on the previous page. Excuse me. We know that if we take these two arcs, this one and this one, and average them, we will get the angle in between. So x is 1/2 the measure of arc GH plus the measure of arc FJ. Okay, the measure of arc GH is 140. FJ is 112. If you add those together, you get, I'm going to add a step in here. If you add these together, you get, let's see here, 252. Okay, you divide by 2. I believe that's 126. $126 it is. So x is 126. Okay, this one is like the theorem we just learned. So here we have an angle outside the circle. So it's going to be 1/2 this minus this. So 1/2 the measure of arc FJ minus the measure of arc FH. The measure of arc FJ is 170. FH is 72. So it's going to be 1/2 of 98, which is 49. Okay? Alright, last page. You are flying in an airplane about 5 miles above the ground. What is the measure of arc BD? the part of the Earth that you can see, the Earth's radius is about 4,000 miles. Because CB and CD are tangents, CB is perpendicular to AB, and CD is perpendicular to AD. Also, BC is congruent to DC. So, triangle ABC is congruent to triangle ADC by the HL congruence, because this equals this and the hypotenuse is congruent to itself by reflexive. Alright, so because these two triangles are congruent, angle BCA, that's this angle, is congruent to angle DCA. Okay, solve right triangle CBA to find that the measure of angle BCA is about 87.1 degrees. What they're doing here, they're actually, I'm not going to have you guys worry about this. They actually use some trig functions to find this. I'll just give this to you. Just know that this angle equals this. Okay, so the measure of angle BCD equals twice 87.1, which is about 174.2. Okay, so we'll let arc BD equal x. The measure of the measure of angle BCD is 1/2 the measure of DEB. That's this arc here, minus arc BD. That's this arc here. Okay, this angle we already know is 174.2 degrees. This equals 1/2. Well, 360 minus x. And then for some reason they skip about 5 steps, so I'm just going to write them over here. We have 174.2 is approximately 1/2 360 minus 2x. I'm going to multiply both sides by 2. Pull out a calculator. $348.4. Okay. 360 minus 2x. Let's subtract 360. Negative 11.6. Divide both sides by negative 2. 5.8. So from the airplane, you can see an arc of about 5.8 degrees. Alright? Okay. You guys can do the checkpoint, and that's all.